4, and 2 through each quadrant, but the will raise by 6 inches, 12, 15, and 18 inches. Now, Bruce, we got Dominic Scalzo out on the grid for the breakers, and I cannot see the number of the player for the Brigade, but we will know in just a moment. Now they're chipping away at those 8 reps. Okay, so there was a little mistake as far as Scalzo. He went to the wrong side, so Dent Hernandez had a small holdup there. They've got 5 reps remaining, but they're about 3 reps shy of the Brigade in this first quadrant. Courtney Moss, and this gentleman is moving so fast on those burpees. All right, so let's see what we got. Scalzo's moving through the burpees over on the breakers. And now it looks like the Brigade have moved on to quadrant number 2. So they have edged just ahead of the breakers, chipping away at 6 reps. That is a devil's press, 50 pounds in each hand of that player. All right, and Kresman out there for the Brigade, going rep for rep with Scalzo on the other side, but they are just ahead as the males go before the females in each of these quadrants. Dent Hernandez and Scalzo still working. Okay, that's Moss. My apologies. Moss in quadrant number 2 for the Brigade, and Kresman. So they are subbing out now. Scalzo and Vetterkind. That's Scalzo and Vetterkind. Okay. My apologies. I made a mistake in quadrant number 2. So we have Scalzo and Vetterkind. And now Davenport. Davenport for the Brigade. She's chipping away. They've got 4 reps there. She's got 40 pounds in each hand. Matt Cable. That's Matt Cable. That bar is 15 inches off the ground, and he's just got 4 reps. He gets into the hash mark. Now we're looking over at Brousseau. Brousseau and
Caitlin Dent Hernandez.
And that's Dent Hernandez. That was the mix-up that I made. So the Brigade are way ahead of the breakers. Hard to see what's going on. Let's get a close-up. We'll see what rep they're on. Okay, yeah, so they're finishing up. 2 reps apiece, and that's gonna be it for the Brigade. The breakers are still in quadrant number 3 as the Brigade have already crossed the finish line. Now they still have about a minute left. Brigade celebrating. We'll go back over to the breakers as they try to finish those last 2 reps. That's Brousseau. This is Dent Hernandez. She waited for him to get to that hash mark. 2 reps apiece of these devil's press and 2 reps of the burpee over the pole facing burpee, 18 inches. 2 reps remain, and they've got about 30 seconds. Okay, so they did finish under that cap. Unofficial score, 2-1. Brigade over the breakers after they took that partner forward. We'll be right back. All right, my apologies. We'll go to commercial in just a few minutes. So, when we started off a moment there, I said Dent Hernandez. My apologies. It was Vetterkind in quadrants number 1 and 2. Then she tagged out Dent Hernandez, who is one of the strongest players on the breaker and a rookie. Came out and finished things up for them. Now, they were already trailing from the Brigade. They had Moss and Kresman coming out hot for those first two quadrants. So they're going to be clearing out everything here. And let's talk about what we have coming up. It's going to be the mirror race. We'll go over the format later. We'll pull those graphics up so everybody can see at home. But just a quick thing, the mirror, once that bar comes off the ground, essentially these players are acting like human racks, right? We haven't seen any mistakes in the first two matches of the day. Hopefully that will continue for these teams, right?
Knock on wood.
Right, so
that'll be a tough one for any team that drops that bar, because if they do drop that bar, they will all have to run to the finish line. It'll cost them major time.
Exactly. I have yet to see a team drop that bar and win that race at all.
That's
because
such a good point.
Yeah, usually one team will do it or no teams will do it, but not very often do both teams do it.
Definitely.
So, in any event, also, all of the equipment that you see here out on the floor is brought to you by Valor Fitness. Check out valorfitness.com to check out that awesome equipment, everything that you see provided to the grid and on the grid floor. Now, we'll be right back. We're going to go to commercial break, and then we will come back to go over that mirror race.
What I love about Slate, first of all, it's lactose free. It has 175 milligrams caffeine, so it's great to take instead of your coffee. And it has 20 grams of protein, no sugar added, so it's great for breakfast. The other one I love is the chocolate milk one. Who doesn't love chocolate milk? You can have it while having 20 grams of protein included at the same time, so it helps you get your protein in during the day, recover from workouts.
In a typical day, I'm usually kind of running around with my head cut off a little bit, and I'm constantly needing just a quick and easy snack that's more than just like a shake or a protein bar that's really not that much protein and stuff like that. So this is just really easy to bring with me, and it keeps me a lot fuller than, say, like a protein shake would. And it's just easy on the go. Like, you can't really bring chicken breast with you. You can, but it's kind of weird. This is a lot more convenient because I could just put it in a little Ziploc bag, take it with me and go and eat it either between coaching or between my sessions or whatever I need to do. Even in the car, that's the big one. When I'm traveling and I'm just like, can't really eat a bowl of something, I just need something that's quick and easy that I can eat with my hands. As a nutrition coach, I'm always looking for easy snacks to recommend to my clients, and obviously for myself as well. I'm a little bit more picky on ingredients because I like things that are just simple and clean without a bunch of like added chemicals and crap. So this is perfect. It's literally 2 ingredients, pork, ham, and salt. Like, that's it. Just 2 things.
All right, folks, welcome back. We are getting ready for our second race of the match. If you're just joining us, the Brigade are currently leading the Breakers 2-1 after 1 race, the partner forward. Now let's talk about the mirror race coming up next. Brief overview of race number 2. This mirror, the barbell cannot touch the ground. We mentioned that earlier, Cassie. If it does, all the players must run to the start line before continuing where they were. Now, any player on the grid can assist in supporting the barbell as long as it's not during an actual movement. Now, let's talk about the movements that we're going through. Today, we've got the hang squat clean. For the men, 205 pounds all the way through the grid. For the ladies, 140. They're going to send 3 males, 3 females out on the grid at a time. And like we were talking about, they cannot set that bar down until all 32 reps have been completed. We're about 5 seconds off. All right, and they are off. Now for the Brigade, Lawrence Curry. And we can't quite see who they have, but let's go. We'll go back over to the Breakers. For the Breakers, Brissot on the male barbell. Coleman and Dent Hernandez helping transfer the bar. There we go. Dent Hernandez has taken over that barbell for the breakers. Heading back over to the Brigade. Brigade are moving in to quadrant number 3. Witter on the barbell.
And Matt Cable.
And that's
on the other
Matt
side.
Cable. Thank you, Cassie. All rep for rep right now, male and female for the Brigade. They've got 2 reps remaining. Hand has just gone up for the breakers.
The Brigade has some great cycle speed showing here today with these hang squat cleans.
Absolutely, touch and go. As soon as they hit that, it's reactive.
Touch and go, but very controlled as well.
Yeah, not wasting any time or any energy. Absolutely. They've got 2 reps remaining.
We got
Breakers.
Anthony Garcia
Yeah,
from
the breakers are trying to play catch up right now. They got Vetterkind and Garcia as the Brigade have crossed the finish line. And then just moments later, we've got the breakers. So, now we're gonna be moving on. What happens next from that mirror? Brigade have taken the mirror, breakers finished under the cap. So unofficially, we're looking at a score of 4-2, Brigade over the breakers. We're gonna quickly set up for the ringer point now. For the ringer,
What is our ringer point today?
they've got 4 rope climbs. That was chosen by our home team today, the Brigade. So, I'm trying to think of the names that are going out. I apologize, they escaped me. It just came back. It's Dalton and Bailey going off. As a matter of fact, we have, no, once again, that's a mistake on my end. So let's talk about this ringer point anyways. On your screen, you've got 4 rope climbs. If they send out a male, it's 15 feet, 4 reps. For ladies, 12 feet, also 4 reps. Now, out there on the grid, it looks like teams are sending out, oh, I can see right there, Wilson Bailey. Yeah, okay, so we have Wilson Bailey and Dalton Herrero. So yeah, I was right. I just couldn't find their name. Dalton Herrero for the Brigade and Wilson Bailey. I had their first names written as their last names. My apologies. So right now, unofficially, 4-2, Brigade over the breakers, ringer point, 4 rope climbs, and we've got about 1 minute till these gentlemen fire off. Dalton versus Bailey. Once again, if you're looking at this, if you're just joining us, Valor Fitness provides everything that you see here. Rigs, equipment, boxes, where they do the handstand, push-ups, everything you're looking at right here provided by Valor Fitness. All right, and we are just a few moments away from our home ringer point. 10 seconds.
Stand by. Release.
All right, and they are off. This one's gonna be quick. It's 4 rope climbs. Now, I wonder if Herrero, using that his big swing that he did would mess him up, but it looks like it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it looked like it worked in his favor. I thought he was going to lose control on
As
that.
Bailey looks like he's having trouble. And that is correct. Herrero will finish a full rope climb ahead of Wilson Bailey.
Wilson Bailey still cutting for those rope climbs to get that point.
Yeah, so once again, 2 points going to the Brigade, 1 to the breakers, and it is not starting too hot for the breakers. They're unofficially down 6-3. Still plenty of races left in this match. Nobody's thrown a bonus flag, so we've seen things like this happen before.
They have plenty of time.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to come right back. We'll be with you in a moment.
With older timers in the past, we constantly found ourselves having to change our programming to fit with what the timer was able to do. We constantly found our coaches having to watch a clock instead of watching their athletes work. My name is Mike Macbeth, owner of Requisite Fitness in Philadelphia. I was first exposed to the Gym Next timer through the Grid League, running various interval lengths of races, asking different time domains required something more than just simply an up counter. Even though I was exposed to it years ago, I didn't adopt it right away. I thought it was one more thing that would make things more complicated. Turns out the Gym Next timer in the app has a really short learning curve. I can't even say that the Gym Next timer has simplified my day. Because of the way we use it, I experience just so much more ease during the week, knowing that the entire week is taken care of. We set up the timers the week before. We sit down, take a look at the programming, and build out the entire week so our coaches have nothing to do besides open up the app, click and go. Running a group fitness model without the Gym Next timer is a non-negotiable.
The Peachy shorts are squat proof. They hold up for burpees. Hands down, they're my favorite things to wear. Squat test, I think we're good to go.
These leggings are to die for. So stretchy, super comfy.
They look cute, they feel good. They don't pinch on the sides. The legs are always loose enough and they don't dig in.
They don't move, which I appreciate because I'm one of the curvier girls.
I like them. They're great.
Love everything about them.
I'm really digging the Peachy.
I've loved wearing Peachy Athletics this year.
Looking peachy.
Cook less and live more with rebuilt meals. Fresh, nutritious meals, chef-prepared and perfectly portioned to help you hit your macros. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning. No commitments and no contracts. Rebuilt Meals offers plans to satisfy any lifestyle. We offer gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free options. And the menu changes every week, so you'll never get bored. Let us do the cooking so you can do all the living. Visit rebuiltmeals.com and use promo code RebuiltReady for 50% off your first order.
All right, party people, welcome back to match number 3 of the Florida Grid League. Week number 2, we have the interconference matches going on, North versus South. We see this twice a season. Right now, the North has dominated the first 2. But let's see what we have, or what's going to be happening here in this next match. In this next race. Let's talk about our Echo.
45 seconds.
Well, with the Echo race, it has its name because, that's right, you're going to see it twice. They're going to come out and go through everything I'm about to describe, and then 45 seconds later, they're going to do it again. Quick rules. One player can be accumulating reps according to the designated number of element repetitions at a designated station. Only one player can perform element work at a time. Quickly with the graphics, they have a 150-pound D-ball over the yoke. 12 reps for the men or ladies. Doesn't matter, but it's a 65-inch bar. And 45 inches for the ladies. I'll continue to go over these movements these elements as we go through this race. All right. And Moss is out there for the Brigade. Vetterkind and Garcia are out there for the Breakers. Now, they have 12 reps apiece, as we were talking about before. That's a 150-pound ball. Doesn't matter if it's male or female. Ladies are going over that 45-inch bar that you see. Gentlemen are going over the 65 inches. It's 12 reps total. From there, they're going to move on to 10 toes to bar, to double touch, to triple touch. So it is basically a complex of all of those movements. Taking a look at the Brigade. 1 rep down for Aaron Medina. That's Aaron Medina out there. And over with the Breakers, we've got Dominic Scalzo And I cannot see who that is. She's hiding behind the wall right now for the breakers. Now, we haven't seen any hands go up from these refs. So for the time being, nothing. But that, okay, Bethany Jackson, that's who we have out there for the breakers. It's Scalzo and Jackson.
Marissa Oxenford of the Tampa Bay Brigade looking super strong out there. One of the fastest for this complex in the league.
All right, and then Chris Chiaffi. Chris Chiaffi has just come out. He is now finishing up the last rep for the Brigade.
If you remember him from last season, he did get injured during a race, but he is back and better than ever, so the team says.
All right. Well, checking a look, he looks healthier than ever. He's doing those toe to back up rises, toe to ring and back up rise. They have a total of 8 repetitions. From there, they will go to a 175-pound barbell complex. Doesn't matter, male or female. It is a clean plus 2 thrusters for the men, or a clean plus 2 shoulder to overheads like you're seeing on your screen with number 20. That was Sydney Witter. Sydney Witter still repping it out, and looks like Matt Cable out there to help her out. Now, as for the breakers, they are struggling a bit with this triple touch complex. Scalzo had to let go. Now we're taking a look over at the Brigade. They're in the 4th quadrant. They only have 4 reps remaining. 2 reps remaining. Matt Cable cleaning and then thrustering twice this 175-pound barbell. 1 rep left. Back to uprise going on for the breakers, but they are just trying to get this done so they can get that extra point in this race, because the Brigade have taken this first half of the Echo.
We have about 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock for the breakers to complete this match.
Yeah, and there's
Caitlin Dent Hernandez over there with the barbell complex.
Yep, and Brosseau. Yep, it's Dent Hernandez and Brosseau, 2 of the stronger players on the breakers, trying to wrap things up in the next 45 seconds. Then there will be a 45-second reset, essentially, before you see everybody do the same thing over again. That's Brosseau, extremely strong. One of the few players in the league with a 400-pound clean.
30 seconds left and a hand up for the breakers.
4 reps remaining. It'd be ideal if Dent Hernandez can finish up. Because of time, it takes a lot longer to do those thrusters than it does to do the shoulder to overhead. They've got 13 seconds, and he has 2 reps remaining. And he took a fault there, yeah, because instead of finishing the clean.
4, 3, 2, 1, time.
All right, so as you saw there, Brosseau was not able to wrap things up. We have 45 seconds, and they're going to run through this whole thing again. But while they're doing it, we're going to talk about what's going on. And it looks like the Brigade have thrown their bonus flag for the second half of this Echo. They saw how they dominated in the first half, and they've now thrown their flag to see if they can take that additional point. Now, what I was saying a moment ago, while they reset, we've got about 30 seconds, is Brosseau picked up that bar. He could have finished under the cap, but instead of finishing his clean, he went right into the thruster, therefore catching a fault from the referee, and then ultimately not being able to get that 1 point for the first half of the race. Now, we've got 10 seconds. We're going to run this Echo back one more time.
This time, the bonus flag is in play.
Team, stand by. Race.
All right, and we're off again. Vetterkind and Garcia out there for the breakers. Moss
and Whitaker.
It's Witter?
Witter, yes.
Witter, yeah.
Pardon
Moss
me.
and Witter for the Brigade. Once again, 150-pound D-ball. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you're going to pick that thing up. For the ladies, you're going over that 45-inch bar. For the men, 65 inches. Total of 12 repetitions in this first quadrant. Moss tagging out. Herrero coming in for Moss, getting started on those triple touches. Now, I'm assuming that the Brigade know that that the breakers are gonna struggle with this part of the race, right? We saw them still working on these when the when the breakers when the Brigade were heading over to finish their complex. So it's likely that that's why they threw the bonus flag. They're pretty confident they could take this race again.
Definitely, and there's not a whole lot of strategizing that the breakers could have done in that short 45-second rest that we had between the echoes.
That's true. Very well pointed out. Yeah, they took advantage. They saw that there was a little hole in the game. Throw that flag, might catch them an extra point, and they've already been leading through the first 3 races. Hand is up. 5 reps remain for the breakers. 2 reps remain for the Brigade.
Here's Kofi already on the rings, ready to complete those toes to bar back up rises.
All right, so the head referee just came out. He gave a fault for that first rep because for the Brigade, they started the toes to ring before the triple touches were completed. Therefore, that first rep was no good. But once again, we're seeing that the breakers are just struggling with these triple touches. So we're gonna go back over, or the breakers aren't. So we're gonna go back to the Brigade, and they are working on this complex. It is 1 clean plus 2 shoulder to overhead for the ladies. That is Sydney Wilson on your screen. And Medina, Aaron Medina. So these 2 players trying to wrap up. There are 5 reps remaining for the Brigade. Now on your screen, the breakers still with 1 rep to go. Can they finish? Yes. Okay, so Coleman headed out to the barbell. She's gonna hang there.
Jonathan Restrepo completing those toe to ring back up rises. Can he do it in time this time?
We'll see. He's got 8 reps, and then I'm sure he'll be going for a substitution. Oh, well, he went ahead and did the 3 reps. With the Brigade now, they're trying to finish up 1 rep.
That was a fault. They're gonna have to redo that.
Yeah, I don't know if there was communication with the coach and the player, but in any event, that bonus flag was a good idea. They ended up getting the extra point, and then we'll see what happens with the breakers and if they can finish under this cap. We'll go back over to the breakers. They've got 1 rep remaining on that back uprise. Oh, and a fault.
And
he's gonna go for it one more time. Can he lock? No, he cannot. So still 1 rep remaining and 50 seconds. Restrepo back on the rings. He's done. He's gonna head back to the start. Coleman.
They have 33 seconds.
30 seconds, and they've got, and they got 10 reps.
These just take a whole lot of time to complete as well. It's not like they can just bang them out.
No, exactly, and it takes thinking. When you're in a hurry, like we saw in the first half of this echo, you cannot just clean the bar and go right into your thruster. You have to finish a movement before you move on to the next.
That's right.
Now, we haven't seen a hand go up for the referee, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just stop here after Oliveras does his last lift.
They keep on going despite knowing that they don't have enough time to finish. I love the commitment to it, though. You got to hand it to them. They really want it.
Yep, for sure. Now, what we saw in the first half of this echo is the breakers struggling with those triple touch complexes. Brigade pounced on it, threw the bonus flag. So we don't know if they caught, if the extra point was given to the breakers just yet. We're going to find out when we come back. For now, we're going to reset the grid. When we come back, we're going to go into our next ringer point. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Sounds like a plan. See y'all.
I'm a bodyweight specialist for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. We have all kind of bodyweight movements, rope climbs, bow jumps, pistols, double touches. These shoes are definitely gonna be on my feet during the next matches since the grip on the sole is so good. I feel super safe doing the rope climbs, like having my feet super secure on the sprints, all kind of movements like that.
All right, party people, welcome back. Now, just going to go over a couple of things. We've got about 2.5 minutes before our strength ladder kicks off. So I did make a mistake when we were talking about the echo race. The breakers did not get any points for either half of that echo because they did not finish either of them under the cap. For the Brigade, they took 2 points in the first echo race and 3 points in the second echo race because they threw that bonus flag because they saw a hole in the breakers game. Now, the one thing I'd like to point out, and I'm sure you're well aware of being that you're part of the Grid League and you've been here for a while, is this breakers team does not give up. All heart. Their coach and one of the owners, Matt Hornaday, has been part of the team and league since its inception. They were initially the Palm Beach Elite before 2020. Come 2020 in the As One tournament, they became the Palm Beach Breakers, and they have not won a match ever until last month in our first week. So they're having a little bit of a rough start, but they have a ton of heart. They're really doing everything they can to try to stay in this match, currently trailing 11-2. And I was just told the breakers have now thrown their bonus flag.
Oh, they're feeling confident on this ladder, huh?
Yep, that's right. And
I like
coming up on for that bonus flag is the strength ladder. So they're trying to put they're saying, we got the strong people, we've got the idea. This is well, let's bring up the graphics. We'll tell everybody what we have for the ladder race today. It's a strength ladder, maximum 10 points per player. Teams accumulate as many points as possible through successful lifts. Now, the weight and point value increase as you move down the grid like you see on your screen. The point value is equal to each quadrant number and 1 lift attempt per bar. Now, you can skip any bar, but you cannot go backwards on this ladder. If the final ladder scores a difference of 10 or more points, then the losing team will then again also not be awarded any points for that race. As far as weights, for the men's weight, quadrant 1 through 4, 175 pounds in quadrant 1, 195 in quadrant 2, 215 pounds in quadrant number 3, and 235 pounds in quadrant number 4. For the ladies, 105 pounds in quadrant 1, 125 in quadrant number 2, 140 in quadrant 3, and then topping off at 155 pounds in quadrant number 4. And as you can see, that element value, 1 to 1, 2 to 2, and so on as you work through the grid, which will ultimately apply to the impact scores of these players. We are 10 seconds away.
Teams, stand by. Race.
All right, so once again, in this hang loose ladder, it is a snatch plus a hang snatch. It can be power or squat, does not matter, but they do need to get it every time. Anytime, if they fail any movement at all, then they must leave the grid immediately.
We got Ricky Morgan, number 12 for the Tampa Bay Brigade, looking really strong on these hang snatches.
Yep, and
just for your quadrant 3.
Yeah, and Dent Hernandez is in quadrant number 4. As I was mentioning, one of the strongest players on the breakers as far as ladies. Now, let's see, we have Brousseau out on the grid for the breakers. There's Brousseau and Lindsay Spock in quadrant number 3. That barbell, she's got it, weighing 140 pounds. Brousseau, let's see if he can hit his second. And he's good. He will get credit for that lift. Matt Cable for the Brigade. Not an issue. For the breakers, let's see, oh, there she is, Nicole Moore. Nicole Moore heading into quadrant 4. She fails that. Matt Cable, let's go to Matt Cable. He's in quadrant number 4.
He's definitely one of those players that they have to point out his mobility before he lifts. Oh, man,
and he just missed that. Now, keep in mind, folks, these teams only have 4 minutes to send all 10 of their players across the grid. Sydney Wilson now out on the floor for the Brigade. And on your screen, we're looking at Oliveras from the breakers. And Wilson easily snatching that weight. Power snatch, not a problem.
Vita Vetican on the 3rd quadrant for the Palm Beach Breakers, making that look like baby weight.
And back over with the Brigade, Aaron Medina in quadrant number 2. Got it. So far, most of these teams and players have sent them through every barbell. Now, when we were watching the last match, we saw several teams go right to 3 and 4. So we'll see if this helps pay off for any of these teams.
The breakers look pretty confident in their strategy today.
Anthony, yeah, and Anthony Garcia, that's who we're looking at on our screen. Great weightlifter, also does Olympic lifting outside of the grid.
There goes his hat.
There goes his hat, but he does not need it. He just needs to lock this out, and he does.
We got Sydney Witter.
Witter does hit her snatch complex, and that's Moss. No, I'm sorry, wrong number.
Lawrence Curry of the Tampa Bay Brigade, hitting the 3rd barbell now.
And that's Jesse Coleman over for the breakers in quadrant number 4. She got it. 20 seconds remain.
There goes
Kresman. Yep, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the same thing, Jess Kresman.
And Dominic Scalzo, he was an initial sign with the Venom, ended up breaking off and going back with the breakers. They will get credit for these lifts.
Jess Kresman faulted out in the 3rd quadrant because of the time cap. Very close, though.
She's not thrilled with her ref, but he was correct in calling that no good. She just missed it by maybe a half a second. Now,
man, it's tough.
They're going to add up all the scores. We can't bring those to you right away, but we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll tell you what happened with the ladder.
Let's do it.
I was actually starting to make videos towards the end of high school to try to go to college for gymnastics, and I ended up having shoulder surgery. I tore my labrum, and that was it for gymnastics. friend got me into CrossFit, and then when I heard about Grid, the original one, I did everything I could to try to be part of the league. I use a lot of grips, and these are just my favorite pair that I've ever touched. The way these are just sewn on and with that padding, it's a whole new dimension in terms of grips for CrossFit. And when you lock onto that bar like you're supposed to with these things, they just lock you in. These are probably the only grips I'll use.
My name is Courtney Moss. I play for the Tampa Bay Brigade, and I am a strength specialist on the team. I was born in Montgomery, Alabama. Fun fact about Montgomery, Alabama, it is the home of the Air Force, so I was actually born on Maxwell Air Force Base. Fun fact. I attended Alabama Christian Academy in Montgomery, Alabama, and I played both football and baseball. I decided to join the Army after all of my mentors growing up through sports from 5 until 21. All of them influenced me in so many ways, and just being that person to be service, to give service back to the community, service back to the world, service back to everyone. So I decided to join the military because I wanted to give that service back to the world. The biggest lesson I learned in the service that I would love to share with everyone is we are meant to do challenging things. Things may seem insurmountable, but we have the grit inside of us to get them all done. Fitness has helped me so much in character building. There's days that become challenging. There's days that are just mentally grinding, and being able to overcome, surpass all those other things that you have to normally go throughout the day. Incorporating fitness, it's so much character building, so it's built my character so much. Advice I would give to people that are on a similar path or on that fence line, try it, give it a try, see what happens. Shoot for the stars, land on the moon. Special shout out always goes to my mom. She's been the rock of my life. Anything I've ever done, athletic-wise and sport-wise, it's been motivation and inspiration through her, and that's who I am today because of her.
We are back. So, we have not gotten the scores from the strength ladder. They're still tabulating everything. Coming up next, we have the away ringer point. This was chosen by the Breakers. Now, that is not what Now, as far as that ladder, we're just getting the scores. We'll get those to you in just a moment. The ringer point, I'll just go ahead and tell you about it. We have two players coming out. Wilson for the Brigade. Dent Hernandez for the Breakers. They are both going for 5 snatches at 150 pounds. That barbell, now you're seeing it, folks, on your screen. Element value of 3, so that means this is considerably heavy. 150 pounds, both ladies, 5 snatches apiece, and then run through the finish line. It's gonna be super quick, don't move a muscle.
Team stand by. Race.
And they're off. Dent Hernandez getting a little bit ahead on the sprint, but we'll see if that helps her when it comes to these barbell cycles.
That is Sydney Wilson for the Tampa Bay Brigade.
And her barbell cycling is very
so
fast.
Oh, there she goes.
She made that. She finished almost 2 reps faster than Dent Hernandez, who is very strong. Now, as far, I made a mistake earlier, I want to recap. When it comes to this ringer point, the team that finishes in second place or last must finish within 20% of the time that the winning team has. Otherwise, they receive 0 points. And that is what happened with the Breakers earlier on the ringer. Now, we'll be right back with a commercial, and then we'll bring you guys those ladder scores.
We
We are Relax and Get Results. Josh and Daniel here. We've been with the Grid League since about 5 years now, and we love being part of the team, taking care of the team. Their well-being means a lot to us, so we're always in the sideline, making sure they're okay. You know, we specialize in everything that has to do with sports massage, sports recovery, stretching. So what we do is basically help them maximize their potential and help them prevent injury as well.
The recovery aspect, we speed up the recovery time, help athletes regain range of motion that they've lost due to injury or overuse, overtraining. Pretty much just keeping people as healthy as possible is what our goal is.
Yeah, especially with Grid, you know, it's very intense and it's very fast. So when we improve their mobility, their flexibility, they're obviously going to perform at a higher level. So with them, that's mainly our main concern, is to get them flexible so they're faster at everything they do.
Unlike American football or baseball, where positions are very clearly defined with rules specific to them, Grid League positions are more general. Think of it as a spectrum with a 4-foot gymnast on one end and a 400-pound strongman on the other, with every possible size, shape, and skill set focus filling in the middle. Roles on the grid have a lot of crossover from position to position, and there are many possible combinations that will yield a great team. Grid League has 3 primary player positions or roles on the team. Utility players generally have a wide range of abilities and end up with a diverse set of assignments on the grid. Utility players, although often assigned more total work than specialists, will still focus on their best movements as their means to contribute to the team. The strength specialist role often involves heavier assignments and, depending on the player's background, may be even more focused to individual types of strength movement, such as Olympic weightlifting or strongmen. Most of the super high-skill movements like backward roll to support in deficit, freestanding handstand push-ups are performed by bodyweight specialists. That said, there are several bodyweight specialists that mainly focus on more basic movements, but for big sets and fast cycle rates. Many are gymnasts as well, but even some of the best do not have gymnastics backgrounds, such as former MVP Paul Lays. Learn more about the sport of Grid League at fgl.com/learn.
We are back. Now, we were just going to go over the ladder, the strength ladder score, and it was found that after tabulating everything, the breakers took the ladder 61-49. They did throw their bonus flag before that race, so they took 3 points for that race, and because they beat the Brigade by more than 10 points, the Brigade received 0.
Nice. I know that the breakers were happy about that. They took a risk and it paid off. They were very confident in their strength for that ladder.
Yep. Now, let's talk about Jack and Jill, our next upcoming race of the match. Jack and Jill is race number 8. There are 3 stations of body weight elements, and players may substitute by gender at any time. As far as movements, there are Devil's Press. Nope, that is the partner forward. Sorry, folks, we have 15 ring forward rolls, 10 deck to pullover, and 5 deck to backflip. And if you're just seeing our screen now, we've updated our scores. The Brigade are currently leading the breakers 13-5. Now, both teams have used their bonus, so there are no more bonus flags to be thrown. From here, essentially, the breakers are going to need to win out.
Yeah.
And pretty decisively. I don't think there's much of a window for them to come back. Oh, and here we go, folks. Just to bring that graphic up for you, we did go over it, but just so you can see it, if it makes a little more sense. Quadrant number 2, they're going to have ring forward rolls, 15 repetitions. Then deck to pullover, 10 repetitions, and deck to backflip, 5. Those can be completed by male or female, only one of each gender out on the grid at a time. And of course, they can substitute at any time. All right, we're about 30 seconds away from that Jack and Jill. We'll go to the grid. Need to move it. All right. right, we are just this. All right, they're off.
That's Marissa Oxenford and Chris Coffey.
Yep, and Kayla Walsh and Restrepo out there for the breakers. Both of the ladies chipping away at those repetitions. Total of 15 reps. Now tagging out, letting the gentleman take over. This is all about strategy. You can see for the Brigade, the player is waiting on the ground patiently so she can get right to work with the next element. And that is deck to rollover on that rig. Let's see who we have. Restrepo having a little trouble over there on the back of your screen. There's Coleman for the breakers. Coleman and Restrepo. Now they're doing a little bit of what you were saying. They're going to alternate or take turns. Maybe he's going to knock out a few reps and then she'll take over while he tags out. And then we're back over with the Brigade. They've got just 2 reps remaining. There are only 1 rep separate these two teams.
Marissa Oxenford starting her backflips.
She's got deck to backflip, 3 down. She's only got 2 reps to go. 1 more. That's gonna do it. She will sprint through that finish line, leaving the breakers in the dust on this Jack and Jill race.
Bethany Jackson on her last rep, and they run to the finish line, following not too far behind.
You know, both teams have very good gymnastic skills. It just seems like the Brigade overall have that edge over the breakers today.
Definitely. The breakers are just missing that one piece because they are such a good team compared to how they've shown out in previous seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to get things cleared out for Jack and Jill, and we'll be right back with the female triad.
My name is Dr. Michael Thomas, and I have a private practice called Acme Spine and Orthopedics. The best part of my job is treating patients that have significant amount of pain due to spinal problems and treating them surgically and having them come back to my office and feeling much better. I think the reason why patients come to me is that I've done a spinal fellowship at the University of Miami, and that gave me an edge to be able to perform minimally invasive surgery appropriately. Also, our practice has an extremity orthopedic surgeon, so if someone comes in with a shoulder injury or a knee injury, elbow, wrist, whatever, we can treat that as well. The best way to contact us is by phone. Our office is always available, and we look forward to getting you better.
Grid is like super fast fitness, and it's really unique because it's guys and girls on the same team. And unlike other sports, you don't have to be good at everything. You get to showcase your skills and what you're really good at. A lot of people confuse CrossFit and Grid and think they're the same thing, when really they're very different. Some of the movements are similar, and they might look like, oh, you're doing the same exercises, why isn't this CrossFit? But with CrossFit, you have to be good at everything. If you want to be competitive, you can't have any holes in your game. You have to be really strong, you have to be really fast, you have to be really good at gymnastics and have a really good engine. But with Grid, it's totally opposite. You can literally just be really strong. You can suck at burpees and a 20-minute metcon, that doesn't matter. Your only job at Grid is to be really strong and move a barbell really fast, or to be really gymnastic and be a ninja on the rig or on rings or whatever, or just be someone like me who really likes burpees and likes to do a lot of that stuff. You know, like, I'll never be the strongest or the gymnastiest, but I have a decent engine and I can move really quick. So for me, it's good because I get to do the stuff that nobody likes to do, like the box jumps and the burpees and that kind of stuff, whereas my partners will save me, and they're going to do the back rolls to the fort and the crazy stuff on the rings that I have no business doing. But together, that's how we win matches, because we all kind of come together and do the stuff that we're good at. I love Grid because, especially after college of being a collegiate athlete, I get to be a team athlete again. But the really cool thing about Grid is I get to compete against guys and beat guys at stuff. And they see us as equals. There's been times where guys have to go against girls and they're like, oh crap, I don't want to go against her. She's really good at this movement or whatever. And you don't see that anywhere else. it's usually a soccer team has all girls or all guys, and it's like girls are really good at one thing in this sport, guys are really good at one thing in that sport, but it doesn't matter what you are. You're a human playing on this team, and you have a specific role that's important. And that's really cool to see, especially for women who think that they can't play, sports with guys or whatever, and they see us on the grid like, wait a minute, they're sharing a barbell with a guy, like they're going against a guy, and they're keeping up or feeding that guy. Like, that's just so cool and really empowering that we just get to feel as important as our counterparts, and it's just we're all needed to be on a team in order for the team to win.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, we're in match 3 of 4 of the Florida Grid League, week 2,
USA?
No, I'm sorry. I'm losing my words here. We're at the USA Fit Games, though, 2023. We're at Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida.
There you go, Joe.
And this is the inter-conference matches, North versus South. Week 1, you saw all of the South. Weeks 2 and 3, you're going to see the North versus the South. And then in week 4, it will be just the North teams facing off. Back here in Orlando, actually.
Yep.
So, just to cap what we've seen so far, we just saw the Jack and Jill race wrap up. The Brigade took yet another. They've pretty much taken 7 of the 8 races of this match today. They're leading the Brigade 15-6. All bonus flags have been thrown. So at this point, it's just a foregone conclusion. The Brigade are going to take this match. But the Breakers still have to put everything they can into getting the points, because we talked about this in earlier matches. There's a point differential. And come the end of the season, that might be what makes or breaks their opportunity to go to the playoffs, right?
Definitely. And
So
I know the Breakers are really hurting with losing such a big point differential on the other teams as well.
Absolutely. Now let's look forward to the ladies' female triad. These are gender specific, so we're going to see the ladies go through it first. Each station must be completed before moving on to the next, and any player can work at any station. Now, that consists of 5 elements, 3 stations of each working at the same time, as we just said. Today, 4 our stations, starting with, for the ladies, double kettlebell overhead lunge, 35 pounds apiece in each hand, going 40 feet across the grid to the start of quadrant number 3. From there, they'll have 6 reps of a 10-inch deficit handstand push-ups, 12 double kettlebell ground to overhead at 35 pounds, 4 med ball muscle ups with a 6-pound med ball between their legs, and then they're going to close out things with 16 repetitions of a double kettlebell hang cluster.
At 35 pounds.
Also at 35 pounds. Thank you.
Anytime, Joe.
Now we've got Dent Hernandez, Coleman, and Vetterkind, if I'm not mistaken, out there for the Breakers. And for the Brigade, number 5, Lindsay Spock. We've got Sarah Hansen, which is a mid-season sign on your right side of your screen.
That's going to be Sarah Harrison.
Harrison. My apologies.
And that looks like Lindsay Spock, but she's substituting in for Marissa Oxenford and Sydney Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson also a rookie for the Brigade. Now we're over on your screen. You're looking at the Breakers chipping away. They have 10-inch deficit handstand push-ups. And it looks like there's some confusion. For the Brigade. Still some reps that need to be completed. Now they're done.
Because they are counting reps on each station, not on individual people, and I think that's important to point out for our audiences at home.
Correct. And for instance, with this overhead, they're going, let's see, we got Coleman, Vetterkind, and Den Hernandez still out there? Yeah, and you've got both teams on your screen. We're splitting the grid right now.
Looks like they're moving those kettlebells to the fourth quadrant for the next movement after these med ball muscle ups. Sydney Wilson chipping away at them already, ahead of the breakers, Marissa Oxenford and Sarah Harrison.
Right, so they have 4 reps of those 6-pound med ball bar muscle ups. After that, final element of the race, double kettlebell hang clusters, 35 pounds apiece in each hand. And it looks like the Brigade, now if we'll go over to the Brigade, the muscle ups, but they're having trouble over there with the breakers. But with the Brigade, they have now started on their 16 reps. They've got quite the lead. They need to make sure they're seeing the head referee telling them, make sure you lock out those arms overhead. You don't want to lose time or repetitions over something like that. All right, so now we're seeing Coleman on our right side of our screen carry over to start her double kettlebell hang clusters. And the same 3 ladies out in quadrant number 4 who started in quadrant number 1 for the breakers. Vetterkind, Dent Hernandez, and Coleman. And Kresman.
Hands up for the Brigade.
Yep. Oxenford, Kresman, and
Spock.
And Spock finishing up. They've got 1 rep done. Now there's still 30 seconds remaining. Brigade getting together, celebrating their victory, back over with the breakers. They've got a few reps to go. From right to left, you've got Vetterkind, Coleman, and Dent Hernandez. Couple reps remaining.
6 seconds to finish.
2 reps.
And they do not finish within the time cap, so they unofficially will not be getting any points for this race.
Correct. 2 points will go to the Brigade for winning that race. 0 points going to the breakers for not being able to cross that finish line under the cap. Now, we've got a couple minutes. They're going to set up for the men. The men have the same thing, obviously different weights for some of the barbell, for some of the movements as far as the kettlebell.
That's right.
Other than that, all the same rep scheme. And
I believe the gentlemen do have a few more reps of the med ball muscle ups.
I stand corrected. You are right. 4 reps for the ladies, 6 reps for the men. Ball still weighs the same, 6 pounds. So we'll be right back. They're going to set up the grid, and we'll come back with the male triad.
I met Flash at one of the matches. He wanted to do a superhero shoot, which felt a little weird because I was like, I don't feel like a superhero.
Flash did a video for me also for Grid. He wanted me to be the Punisher as a character.
I did Power Girl. That just made me look so badass.
That's actually a really cool character because like the Punisher was military and had that like darkness essence to him. It just brought out my actual like personality, like wanting to be like shown as you don't want to mess with her type thing. I already have a hard time like expressing myself. He portrayed on like how I want to be looked at.
A lot of times girls that are a bigger athlete like me, we've been called manly, we've been bullied, we've been seen as this different type of female, and it allowed me to feel very feminine and show off that like you can still be beautiful but still be like a badass at your sport. And I really truly believe that God gave me a platform to show women that, you know, you can be this. I just try to be what I needed when I was younger.
That's me right there.
Strong girls can relate to each other. Once we met on Grid, we just instantly kind of connected. I was like, you're so strong. I think that was the first thing I said to her. I was like, you're so strong. And she was like, you're so strong. And we were just like, cool, we're both strong. All season, there was like this joke that me and Vita were gonna move to Florida.
I'm like, the only thing I really have back home is like my parents.
I don't really have anything in Massachusetts.
I love them, but I just knew I had to grow as a person.
And I DM'd her on Instagram and was like, literally, hey, do you want to move to Florida?
I was hoping I would get that message, actually. I was waiting for that message, so I knew, like, if I wanted to make a move this this would be it.
I kind of was like, you know what, maybe this is a reality.
That was my sign. And if it works out, if everything lines up, then it's supposed to happen. And it did, so.
We moved out here, we didn't have anyone or anything. We were like, now we're best friends. Like,
She's my emergency contact.
We don't really treat each other like roommates, we treat each other like family.
Big goal of mine is to share my story, to inspire others. Once I got back to the States, during hard chemotherapy rounds, I was back in remission, but now this time I needed to have a bone marrow transplant. After another round of chemotherapy, I then endured a fungal infection that was going to my brain. Very close call. Had 5 surgeries in 6 days. But I battled through, fought through, and survived. Made it to my bone marrow transplant. Took about 11 months for my blood to start reproducing again. You know, through that time, I still continued to train. I continued striving to just be the best I can be and do the best my body could do. So I preach health and fitness because it saved my life, not once but twice. I will continue to tell my story on why I eat the way I eat. Every day, you know, I'm eating clean. Carnivore snacks, you know, it's just legit salt and your protein, and that's it. They all taste great. I look forward to snacking on them every day. Being a busy dad, I get to snack and not forget to eat while I'm taking care of my 14-month-old son. So carnivore snacks is great. I definitely highly recommend it.
I'm Dr. Jamie here with the Box Stop, and we are going to talk a little bit about staying safe with your kipping movements while doing movements like the double touch and the triple touch. So first off, if we aren't capable of doing toes to bar, chest to bar, and bar muscle ups, we should work on those things separately before you start getting into putting them together. But this is kind of a
once again,
length tension
we
shift.
are back, folks. Heading into our second to last race, the male triad. Now, we already went over all of the movements with you, so I'm just going to go over the weights quickly as they're going to be going off in just under 1 minute. For the double kettlebell overhead lunge, the gentlemen have 53 pounds in each hand. They are doing the same as the ladies when it comes to the deficit handstand push-up, 6 reps apiece. Then 12 double kettlebell ground to overhead at 53 pounds. 6, as my co-host Cassie reminded me, of the 6-pound med ball bar muscle-ups, and then wrapping things up with 16 double kettlebell hang clusters. 53 pounds also, which is the same kettlebells that they will bring from quadrant number 3. So the boys are out on the start line. Looks like Courtney Moss, Matt Cable, and Ricky Morgan for the Brigade. Olivero, Garcia, and Brosseau out for the Breakers. Little misstep for Oliveras, but he is out in front of everybody still. All 2 teams and 3 players pretty much neck and neck as they cross that line. Yes, Courtney Moss is going to stay out on the grid for the Brigade. The other 2 guys substituting. Brosseau tagging in for Restrepo. They've got 6 of those 10-inch deficit handstand push-ups, which they've already completed. Brigade just about 2 reps ahead of the Breakers.
We got Ricky Morgan, Matt Cable, and that looks like...
That's Aaron Medina.
Aaron Medina for the Tampa Bay Brigade over here, completing these.
Yeah, and on the far side, over with the Breakers, you're looking at Anthony Garcia on the right, Scalzo in the middle, and on the left, Restrepo. Just finishing up those last ground to overhead. All teams and players looking pretty tired. The communication here has to stay. If you are too tired to complete a movement, get off, tag somebody out.
It looks like this triad is a lot closer than the last one.
Now what you'll see on your screen is we have the Brigade And that's Matt Cable on your right. He did move a box that looked like it was somewhat getting in the way of Restrepo for the Breakers. But in any event, all two teams and all three players are heading into the fourth quadrant. The Brigade are ahead of the Breakers, at least in 2 of the 3 stations. They've got 16 repetitions of a double kettlebell hang cluster. Those are 53-pound kettlebells that you're seeing. And we've got Morgan, Moss, and Cable out for the Brigade. And on your screen right now, that is Oliveras, Garcia, and Brosseau.
Chris Kelpie.
Both teams chipping away right now. Hands have gone up for one of the referees for the Brigade. 2 of the referees have their hands up for the Breakers. Have the Breakers caught up? We're going to see in just a moment. Matt Cable setting down his kettlebells. He is not done, but he is out of energy. He needed a break, and it looks like Brosseau is going to finish up. The Breakers managed to come back and catch the Brigade, and there are 20 seconds left, but only 1 repetition. So the Brigade will finish just behind the Breakers by about 15 seconds or so. That was your male triad. Now, coming up next, we have our last race of the match, the sprint relay. In the 2 matches that we saw today earlier, it was knotted up going into that. It was a closer match than what we're seeing today. Now, both bonus flags have been tossed here, so we're not going to see anything as far as bonuses for the sprint relay. The best thing that the Breakers can do at this point is win this race and hope that at least the Brigade don't finish it, or whatever, you know. I mean, just finishing ahead will give them that extra point, which will help with that point differential like we've been talking about when it comes to the end of the season and qualifying or getting into the playoffs.
Definitely. I think that the Breakers have basically checked out of competing in this match and are just trying to get those points up for their conference and trying to keep that differential of being ahead of the other teams as being the 2nd seed.
For sure, showing a lot of heart. We'll be right back with the sprint relay.
Event structure. Match. A grid league event featuring 2 teams competing in a series of races. Match winners are determined by a tally of points accumulated according to race outcomes. Grid league team. A full team consists of 18 players, 9 male and 9 female. Players perform in different roles on the teams and are strategically placed into races by the head coach. Race. A series of elements that must be performed in order to finish the race. The exception is the ladder race, in which points are tallied according to successful lifts. Race outcomes yield point values that are tallied to determine the match winner. Match format. The movement or element variation of the races from match to match. Movement. An athletic movement used in races that is defined by a set of standards. Elements. A specific segment of a race involving one movement at a consistent parameter such as weight or height. Element value. A value applied to a race element indicating the general significance of that element to the race outcome overall. Field of play. Grid, the field of play. Lane, one side of the grid. Each team performs in a single lane. Quadrant, one of 4 equal sections of each lane. Hash mark, line segments along the outside of each quadrant dividing it into 4 sections. Hash box, the space between 2 hash marks or a hash mark and quadrant line. Rig, a central structure on which several movements are performed, start or finish zones, area adjacent to the respective line outside of the field of play. Grid play. Substitution, in race switch of players on the grid. Tag, contact between players signifying a substitution. Fault, a repetition deemed not to meet the specified standards and does not count. Bonus flag, a flag thrown by a head coach designating the subsequent race to be worth an extra point. Grid lock, the result of a point tally that is tied at the end of regulation play. A designated version of the final race of the match, sprint relay, is run to determine the match winner. Roster terms. eligible player, a player designated by the team to be able to perform in a given match. Active player, a player designated by the team to be able to perform in a given race. Failure to properly designate an active player results in a penalty. Starting roster, 5 players of each gender active to perform initially in a match. Alternate roster, up to 3 players of each gender that can permanently replace a starter or otherwise active player in a match. Wild card, 1 designated player that is the only alternate that does not permanently replace a starter or otherwise active player. The player they replace may re-enter the match. The wild card is only eligible for 2 races. Learn more about the sport of Grid League at thefgl.com/learn.
All right, folks, we are back. We're going to head into the sprint relay. Real quick, wanted to point out, if you noticed on your screen, we had the score being 19-6, but it is actually 18-8. There was a little minor mess up.
Mess
just
up?
Call it. Yeah.
That's all right.
With the
Everybody makes
calculations.
mistakes.
We got it.
Everybody has those days.
18-8. We got it right on the screen. Brigade, they're up by 10. There's no coming back. But like we were saying before we went to break, the Breakers have an opportunity to at least close the gap in that point differential. So now we'll look ahead to the sprint relay. Go ahead. Let's talk about that. Sprint relay, last race of the match. It's a relay race in which 4 male and 4 females must finish all 8 elements. Now, players can substitute at any time except after performing the final rep of any given element. Now, after performing the final rep, they will run back to the start line for 4-point touch and then sprint all the way across the grid to the finish. Now, looking ahead at the elements for today's sprint relay. Things are going to open up with a 150-pound D-ball over the yoke, and that bar is 45 inches high. Doesn't matter, male or female, who does these movements. Moving on after that, they will have short rope climbs starting at 8 feet. So there is no rope below 8 feet, going up to 15, 2 repetitions. Then 4 reps of toes to ring to back uprise. Following, 150-pound D-ball carry to the 3rd quadrant, back to start, and all the way to the finish. Deck to pistol over a 6-inch pole. 53-pound kettlebell squat snatch, and then 2 200-pound snatches, and, or excuse me, 6 200-pound snatches, and 2 clean and jerks at 200. So let's see what these teams have in store for the way that they work this out. We saw earlier with the other teams of the last match, they traded off a couple of men and women at the beginning on several of these balls, D-balls over the yoke. Now what we're seeing here is for the Breakers, Dent Hernandez finished things up, and Harrison, the new sign for the Brigade, finished for the Brigade. Now we've got Steedman, my apologies, for the Brigade, playing catch-up. He's just behind Johnson, who just cleared. Now Restrepo heading out onto the grid. He's got 4 toes to ring to back uprise. He's about 2 reps ahead of the Brigade currently. He is done.
Restrepo is running to the finish line at this point. Coffee close behind.
Yep, and that's Chaffee trying to catch up. Chaffee crossing through the finish.
Oliveira's already on the move for the Breakers.
Wow, we haven't seen this. Lindsay Spock. We have not seen a lady on any team pick up that 150-pound ball and carry it for this part of the sprint relay.
There she goes. They don't look too heavy to her.
No, she is making that thing look like there is nothing in it. And now over, we've got for the Breakers, I cannot see who that is, but she is about 2 reps ahead of Marissa Oxenford.
That was
for
Wilma
the Brigade.
Rosario for the Breakers.
All right, so that was Rosario. Rosario's heading off the grid. She's done. Oxenford just finished, so they have made up a little bit of time, the Brigade. Now, Vita Vetterkind for those hang kettlebell squat snatches.
And that's Aaron Medina for the Tampa Bay Brigade.
Yep, Aaron Medina also. So he's moving that weight a little bit quicker. He might have made up some time. They were just a rep or two behind.
There goes Vetican to the finish line already. Medina on his way back.
Medina not putting enough pep in his step, I would say, to catch them up.
Have to agree
Not
with you.
that it matters.
Oh, he didn't finish a rep. Oh, he didn't 4-point touch at the start line. He was called back to the start line to 4-point touch, then run to the finish line.
And on our screen now, we've got Brosseau. He's got 6 snatches at 200 pounds. That's the last one. He's got it. Once again, one of the few players in the grid with a 400-pound clean. Matt Cable now for the Brigade, trying to play catch-up. He's got 1 rep as well. And over with the breakers, Coleman. Able to clean and jerk 200 pounds, touch and go. She's got her 4 points of touch. She's going to sprint through the finish line, and the breakers have taken the sprint relay, celebrating, showing all that heart. And now we're back over with more.
Sydney Wilson from the Tampa Bay Brigade. Coming
Wilson.
back for that 4-point touch and going into the finish line. Coach is telling her to slow down. No need to hurry so fast.
That's right. So the breakers applauding their competitors, the Brigade,